All right. So, in recent times, ladies, women, hypothetically, you're watching. Statistically, realistically, you're probably not. That's fine. I feel like if I can condense all these videos I've seen on YouTube and testimonies from people as to why everybody's a little dissatisfied or disgruntled, it's because of many things. Social media likes to spur the memes that makes us hate ourselves, and the algorithm knows that if we see something out of rage, we engage with it out of rage. And engagement by any means get those people mad because they'll be arguing with each other, and they'll do it on our app. Wink, wink. So I feel like nothing has ever changed. It is just your mindset that has become more toxic to the nature of how life is. Some idealism, some romanticism, some unrealisticness is good. I feel like men and women are different. Men are trapped in realism because everything's about, that's not very realistic. Who's going to want to be with you if you don't have X, Y, or Z? And women are like, oh, when you find that one day, you got to pick the right one because you're like a cow. Don't give away the milk for free. But what happens when you never gave the milk out? Nobody can verify your milk, and you end up the single cow in the corner of the land, just walking, looking for a bull. You never entertained the other bulls, so eventually the bulls got together and they said, "What about that cow? I don't know. I think she might be gay." And then, yeah, what are you gonna do? Leftover cow. I say that to mean that there is such a thing as too careful. What is the point of surviving when you haven't lived? And now, putting that back to where we were, if I can really put pen to paper to this idea, if I can tell you, not much has changed within, you know, 60 years, 70 years, except for our viewpoints on things. And I feel like you cannot rewrite the details of humanity. If you are girls, women, if you're attracted to boys or men, like, you are not going to tell them how to be a man. You are not going to define that for them. And there's only so much shame that you can do before they eventually just get tired of it. I feel like because everything is so available at the touch of our fingers, we don't ever want to feel discomfort. But discomfort is growth and it is life. That's why theoretically you could just stay inside all day, DoorDash everything, and you could survive that way. As long as you have the money, I don't see the problem in it. But that's the thing. Nobody can tell you that's a problem until you feel it in your heart that it is. And if you're at that point, then it's time to question some beliefs. And it's time for me to tell you what you can't do, what you can or can't do. Ladies, I often feel like all this misery meme stuff, we either go feminism versus future and things like that, player guys versus player girls, loser guys versus loser girls, and everybody's testimony in between. Eventually, you just got to kind of tuck that into the shirt pocket of your shirt or your pants, whatever. And eventually, you just got to move on from that because I feel like if you're heterosexual and you're attracted to the other sex, you're going to have to go through a lot of uncomfortable growth where you learn what it is and what it means to be there for somebody whose gender you're not used to acting with. But as long as you're gay, as long as you're not gay, not gay, then that is going to be something that is a part of your life. I know it sucks, but it's always sucked, but it doesn't have to be a bigger deal than it is if you don't make it so. And what I mean by that is this. All right, that was a lot of words to just to define the idea, frame it out, whatever, and it's hard. But if I could put it into words, I had it a lot worded better. Of course, I said it a lot better than when I went to record, when I wasn't recording at all. But it feels like, to me, women's biggest hangups and our issues are. I'm saying women are, and I'm speaking for women. I don't mean that I'm trans or anything, or I'm women. But, like, alright. I'm not trying to be funny, but it feels like you want to rewrite the ending of Grease. And what do I mean by that? The analogy. Come on, it's Grease. We go together. Shabalaba dooba. That's my ankle, by the way. Shabalaba dooba. Shoo-wop, shoo-wop, shoo-wop. I forget what else comes next. But, like, that Grease, the one with John Travolta and the T-Birds, like, you want to rewrite the end because in your perfect feminist world, men shouldn't do all kinds of stuff. But more than that, they should accept you for who you are without you having to do the same. Even though in the law of energy, you don't get anything unless you put it in or whatever. It can't be destroyed, it has to be transferred. And you're trying to do energy transfers with no energy. Not only does that not work in science, that doesn't work here. Your potential energy isn't going to be acted upon until you get a push. And you won't get a push until you actually do it. And all of that relating back to Grease is that, you know, with our, and this is coming from me, a guy who's been pretty leftist, progressive, whatever, shared every single feminist thing. I've seen women mistreated in my life, and I didn't want that for the future, or at least other women that I interact with. However, the deeper I get in life, the more I acknowledge that other people that are looking out for me say the things they say because they are real. There's no amount of negating that we can do that can redefine manhood or make people less, because this one form of ideal thinking works only for women. You say that, like, men's sexual attraction is porn brain, this and that. You can't hate every aspect of their being or question it and then want them to stick around. It's almost like you're trying to use the way you see life and force it on them. You shouldn't want that much sex. I don't want that much sex. You shouldn't ask that of me. I don't want to ask that of me. But you should definitely have X, Y, and Z. You should definitely have this, otherwise why would I even be there? You should be thankful you're talking to me. Like, no, that's not what happened in Grease. Like, I'm pretty sure if feminism rewrote Grease, it would be that Sandy never has to do that fucking sexy, dangerous thing where she dresses in leather. No, that's what's hot. Fucking John Travolta would have never said yeah if she never underwent that resolution. And that had to happen because up until that point, until you make that extra effort, you're not going to get shit, or depends on who you're aiming for. I think women, no offense, ladies, I think without you knowing, you're on an unlevel playing field and you're so used to everybody else accommodating you that you don't really see how if you want somebody and you come to learn that they're aiming higher, that is for you to rise to the occasion of. You know, what did Sandy do? She didn't walk away, or, you know, the blonde girl from Grease didn't say, oh, fucking pig, and then just walk away. No, she got fucking sexy. She grew a spine. She sung that fucking song because she really wanted, there's no place to hide since you put my love inside. Well, you know what I mean? She was fucking hopelessly devoted. What the fuck? And that devotion, because she actually wanted something, got her to do that. She broke the rules. She had the leather jacket. She was a sexy, heartbreaking bitch. And, like, that's kind of what makes it interesting, because that's real life. People rise to the occasion. But no offense, ladies, girls, whatever. Like, I love you all. But if you're asking for rising without doing the rising yourself, what are you asking for? That's why you get shit. And, like, I'm not saying that you deserve shit. I don't think anybody does or does not deserve anything. Things just kind of happen based on what you do. And that's what I mean by you can't rewrite that. You can't set the definition of, oh, you want this or that, and then turn around and not get anything. So theoretically, yeah, there's nothing stopping you from just waiting on nothing forever, like the cow. But do you really want to be the cow? You know what I mean? And of course, this will get torpedoed or made fun of because it's a bad example. I just thought it was funny. You know, you can't rewrite Grease. No amount of idealism will rewrite the script and filmed and edited version of Grease. Whether you like it or not. Because she liked John Travolta and he was a bad boy, she had to show him how hot she could be instead of just being frumpy. Because this is the same thing we ask of dudes. You know what I mean? And, like, women always snidely say on the internet, oh, basic grooming and this and that. This is what women have to do on a daily basis. But then when guys tell you, you seem to be a victim of of your own circumstances, when I could tell you 1,000 times that you look pretty without that stuff. And I don't want to control you. You know, you do makeup for yourself, that's fine. I'm not saying you do it for me or for other guys. But it's like no amount of reassurance I could give could make you feel better. But the minute I don't agree with you right away, when you say you don't feel or you look good, you take that seriously. So it's almost like in every other instance, my trying to reassure your beauty, reaffirm it, if it's not couched in retail therapy, you don't give a fuck. If it's not buying or if it's not complimenting the shit you bought, somehow that's not liking you, even though me giving you your time in the first place is something. Because isn't that what feminism makes fun of guys for? That we have all this free time and that nobody tells us what to do, we do whatever. And it's like theoretically anybody can do that, but like that's not the whole picture. And I think now that women achieve these markers, these goals, these things, they see that they're not quite what they seem, like working that much and not being on the maternity leave and this and that. I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool, but that was only ever half the issues. Like now you're seeing, because nobody's there, what is the prize of never getting weighed down with children or a partner that, you know what I mean? Like, you make these common things in life sound like burdens. What the fuck? Imagine if fucking the girl from Greece complained about that. Like, and he made me put on a leather jacket and this and that. No! If she really wanted John Travolta, she did it. And I think that's the thing. Until women find their John Travolta, they kind of make these other guys in between jump through hoops. And even then, they could still be bored and not committed to you. It's just whatever's there. And I think that's what hurts. Without you being a bitch and rejecting, you're also hurting by being a little flaccid, whatever, and not. Because if you're really not feeling a guy, don't fuck with his emotions. That's what I don't. I don't get that, because in every other instance we tell men, don't play around with the girl if you don't like her. You know, that's what you tell all the I was going to say lady boys, the lover boys, you know, that's what you tell all the lover boys. That's what you tell all the heartbreakers, womanizers, whatever. But what about women? It's just like, no offense, I love you women, but all of you, because your sex organs are commodified, have the potential to be the girl equivalent of like womanizers. What am I trying to say? Because all of you could theoretically get as much as you could handle if you went out and looked for it. That means you can also break hearts by defaulting with the guy, even though that's not what you want, but you just want a placeholder because you think, hey, goal, reality, bam, done. And that's not how it works. So please don't try to rewrite Grease. Don't just don't fucking do that. I mean, so much of what we were told with this progressive rhetoric seemed to have been double standards, because I don't think that the people preaching for it really adhered to it, which is fine, but it's just like, how could half the battles you fight as a feminist go out the window, or you just memory hole them when it comes to how you treat men and what you ask of them? I don't get it. And then how are men supposed to feel with all this current memes? Like, yeah, scam him, yeah, kill him and take his money, drug him, take his money. Like, what fucking world do you... That's weird and arcane, like, not arcane, but fucking weird. It's fucking weird. Like, I get, you could say, whatever, the 2000s before that was like, punch your wife in the face jokes, killing a dead hooker jokes, this and that, all kinds of fucked up shit. But this kind of pastiche girl revenge genre, I don't know if the last 10 years of that has really been any better or really achieved the goals that it achieved. And I know now we're in uncharted territory, because it has nothing to do with rewriting Grease or how women interact with men, but I'm just trying to tell you my best way of, like, you can only set boundaries and goals like that so far before the real world just tells you how much it really gives a fuck. The answer is that it doesn't. And men find that out right away. Like, I don't know. Anyway, love you, women. Love all the girls in my life. Peace, love, and understanding. That's it. That's all I could think to record. I hope that helps. I don't know that it did. The following is cut material that didn't make the final cut. Please enjoy as bloopers or extra. Especially because that's saying whose ideal world is it, and why does your ideal world include changing others? I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that, because in men's ideal world, there would be less of a battle for all of us to obtain any kind of woman at all whatsoever, and it'd be perfect. If I like you, you like me, then that, you know. Like, of course, how am I going to explain that? Of course, we have different idealism. Yours would be like if men's sexuality just went out the window, and ours would be if your hesitation to sexuality just went out the window. And I don't know how you don't see the humor in that. Like, it's funny. Girls are funny and cute in their own ways. You know, some of them can't drive, some of them are very artsy fartsy, but then they don't know shit about fucking home repair cars or shit. Or sometimes it's funny to see the women that are mechanics and are that, then they have some kind of wet blanket nerd boyfriend, but the two of them make it work. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe they're both the same. It's like car girl, car guy couple. You know what I mean? Like, there's differences, but people can make differences work. And if you haven't been able to do that up to this point, maybe it's you. Just saying. That's not the worst thing in the world. I'm not condemning you. I am not better than you. I'm just telling you that. That is to say, until you make that extra effort, you're not guaranteed the things you want just because you want them. Wanting is half the battle, and then the rest is. Sorry, I'm scratching my back. And then the rest is actually doing it, the follow through, or the rising to the occasion of.